Margaret Smith is 72 years old. She lives in a small two-bedroom house in Columbus, Ohio, where she has lived for the past 34 years. Every month, her Social Security check is the difference between making ends meet and falling behind. She has never thought much about how that money arrives. It just shows up, or at least it always has, until last month, Margaret needed to switch banks. Her old bank had been sold to a larger institution, and she did not like the new fees or the new faces. So she did what she had done the last time she switched banks. Nearly a decade ago, she picked up the phone, dialed the Social Security Administration, and waited on hold. 47 minutes later, a representative came on the line. Margaret explained what she needed. She gave her new routing number, her new account number. She expected to hear the same thing she had heard before. Your changes will take effect in about 30 days. You are all set. Instead, the representative told her something that stopped her cold. We cannot do that over the phone anymore. You will need to go online or visit a local office. Margaret does not own a computer. She has a flip phone. The nearest Social Security office is 22 miles away, and she does not drive on highways. That is when she realized the rules had changed, and nobody had told her. Margaret is not alone. There are millions of Americans just like her who rely on Social Security for the bulk of their retirement income, and a quiet but significant rule change in 2026 is reshaping how those benefits get delivered. If you are retired, if you are approaching retirement, or if you help manage finances for an older parent or relative, you need to understand what has changed and what you need to do about it. Because what happened to Margaret can happen to you, and the consequences of not being prepared are not just inconvenient. They can mean a month or more without your money. Let us start with the biggest change. That is the one that tripped up Margaret. For years, if you needed to update your direct deposit information with the Social Security Administration, the process was slow but simple. You could call, you could visit an office, you could go online, and once you made that change, it would typically take up to 30 days to take effect. That meant a full month of waiting before your benefits started landing in the right account. It was frustrating, but at least it gave you a wide window to catch mistakes. Starting in 2026, that timeline has been compressed dramatically. The SSA has shifted to a new system where direct deposit changes can be processed in as little as 1 business day. That sounds like an improvement, and in many ways it is. If you close a bank account and need your next check routed somewhere else, you no longer have to wait nearly a month. The system can get it done before the next payment cycle. But here's the trade-off. That speed comes with much stricter identity verification. The SSA knows that fraudsters are constantly trying to reroute benefits to their own accounts. By making the system faster, they also made it harder to abuse. The result is that the SSA now requires you to verify your identity in person at a local office or through your online My Social Security account before any banking change can go through. And that includes the first time you set up direct deposit. The old method of calling the national 800 number and simply giving a new account number over the phone, that is gone. In most cases, the SSA will no longer process banking information changes by phone at all. You cannot just call and say, "Here is my new routing number. Please update it." That conversation no longer works. The only exceptions are extremely limited, usually tied to documented hardships that must be verified case by case. Why did they do this? The answer is fraud, and it is a serious problem. Social Security fraud has exploded in recent years. Scammers have gotten sophisticated. They call beneficiaries, pretending to be SSA representatives. They trick seniors into revealing their banking information, and then they call the SSA and change the direct deposit to an account the senior does not control. The money that was supposed to pay for groceries, medication, and utilities goes to a stranger. And the victim may not realize it until the next payment date passes and nothing arrives. The SSA reported that fraudulent direct deposit changes have cost beneficiaries and the agency hundreds of millions of dollars in recent years. The new rules are designed to shut that down by creating a wall between any phone-based request and the actual change. By requiring either in-person verification with a government-issued ID or a fully authenticated online session through My Social Security, the SSA effectively eliminates the most common attack vector used by fraudsters. That is the good news. The bad news is that this new system creates serious barriers for exactly the people who are most vulnerable. Seniors who do not use the internet. Seniors who live far from a Social Security office. Seniors who have mobility issues and cannot easily travel. Seniors who rely on the phone as their primary way of conducting business with the government. Let me give you a real picture of who we are talking about. According to the Pew Research Center, roughly 1 in 4 Americans aged 65 and older do not use the internet at home. Among those aged 75 and older, that number climbs to nearly 4 in 10. These are not people who are stubbornly refusing to learn technology. Many of them grew up in a world that did not have personal computers. Many of them cannot afford broadband. Many of them live in rural areas where internet access is unreliable or simply not available at speeds that would make online account management practical. And here is the catch. Even among seniors who do use the internet, the My Social Security account system requires a level of identity verification that many find difficult. You need a valid email address. You need to be able to receive a verification code by text or email. You need to answer security questions that might be based on credit report data. And sometimes those questions ask about things that happened decades ago, things the applicant does not remember. I have heard from viewers who tried to set up their account 7, 8, 9 times and kept getting locked out because the system could not match their answers. So, what do you do if you are in that position? What do you do if you are like Margaret from Columbus? No computer, no smartphone, and the nearest SSA office is a long drive away. You have to plan ahead. That is the single most important piece of advice I can give you today. Do not wait until you need to change your bank information. Do not wait until the day your bank calls to say your account has been compromised and you need a new account number. Do not wait until you are standing in a bank lobby with a closed account and no way to receive your next Social Security check. Plan ahead. Here is a step-by-step action plan that anyone can follow. Step 1. If you do not already have a My Social Security account, create one today, even if you have no intention of changing your bank information anytime soon. Even if you plan to keep the same account for the next 10 years, create the account now while there is no pressure, while you have time to work through any issues. Go to SSA.gov, click on My Social Security, and follow the prompts. You will need your Social Security number, your email address, and a U.S. mailing address. The system will ask you a series of questions to verify your identity. If you get stuck, and many people do, there is a way to get help, but you need to do it before the deadline is looming. Step 2. If you cannot create an online account, or if you try and get locked out, call your local Social Security office directly and schedule an in-person appointment. Do not just show up, walk. In-appointments are extremely limited and may involve waiting for hours. Call ahead. Explain that you need to create an online account or update your direct deposit information and book a time slot. Be prepared to bring your Social Security card or a government-issued photo ID, your bank account and routing numbers, and any paperwork from your bank confirming the new account. Step 3. If you are still receiving paper checks, switch to electronic deposit as soon as possible. The SSA has been encouraging this transition for years. Paper checks can be lost, stolen, or delayed. They require you to be home to deposit or cash them. And during natural disasters or mail disruptions, they can disappear entirely. Electronic deposits arrive on time. They are protected by bank fraud safeguards, and they eliminate the risk of a check being stolen from your mailbox. If you do not have a bank account, you can use the Direct Express prepaid debit card program, which is specifically designed for federal benefit recipients who do not want or cannot get a traditional bank account. The card works like any other debit card, and your benefits are deposited automatically on payment day. Step 4. Understand your payment schedule. Social Security payments are not all sent on the same day. They are staggered based on your date of birth. If you were born between the 1st and the 10th of the month, your benefits are deposited on the second Wednesday of each month. If you were born between the 11th and the 20th, you are paid on the third Wednesday. If you were born after the 20th, your payment arrives on the fourth Wednesday. Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, is generally paid on the first of the month. Knowing your schedule helps you spot problems early. If your payment does not arrive on your scheduled Wednesday, you know immediately that something is wrong and you need to investigate rather than waiting days or weeks wondering if the mail is just slow. Step 5. Keep your contact information current. The SSA will send you notices about changes to your benefits, your payment method, and your account status. But they can only do that if they have your current mailing address, email address, and phone number on file. If you move, call, or update your My Social Security account right away. A notification about a pending direct deposit change that goes to an old address is a notification you never see. Now, let me talk about something that does not get enough attention: the impact on seniors with cognitive decline or memory issues. There are millions of older Americans living with mild cognitive impairment, early-stage dementia, or Alzheimer's disease. For these individuals, managing a Social Security account online is not just difficult, it can be impossible. And the new rules present a special challenge because the person who needs to make the change may not be the beneficiary themselves. It may be a family caregiver, a power of attorney, or a court-appointed guardian. If you are acting on behalf of someone else, the SSA has a process for that. It is called the Representative Payee Program. If you are already designated as a representative payee, You can manage the beneficiary's direct deposit information through your own My Social Security account or through the in-person process. But if you are a family member helping out informally without legal designation, you may hit a wall. The SSA will not discuss a beneficiary's account with anyone who is not authorized. That means you need to get the proper paperwork in place before a crisis hits. Go to SSA.gov, search for representative payee, and start the process now. Do not wait until a check gets lost. Let me also address a frustration that is likely to get worse before it gets better. Social Security office staffing. The SSA has been operating with reduced staffing for years. Field offices have closed in many rural areas. The remaining offices are often understaffed and overbooked. If you try to make an in-person appointment during the first week of the month or right before a major payment date, you may find that the earliest available slot is weeks away. That is a problem if you need to update your banking information immediately because your account was compromised or closed. This is why I keep coming back to the same message. Do not wait. If you know you are going to need to switch banks in the next 6 months, do it now. If you have been thinking about setting up a My Social Security account but keep putting it off, stop putting it off. The system is going to get busier as more people learn about these changes, and the offices are going to get more crowded. The window of convenience is closing. Let me give you a few more concrete examples of how this plays out in real life. Imagine you get a letter from your bank next Tuesday saying your account will be closed in 10 days due to a security incident. Under the old rules, you could call the SSA on Wednesday, spend an hour on the phone, update your information, and rest easy knowing the change would take effect within 30 days, but probably faster. Under the new rules, you call the SSA and get told that phone changes are no longer accepted. You go online to update your My Social Security account, but you have never set one up. You try to create one, but the identity verification questions trip you up and you get locked out. Now you have to visit an office. You check online and find that the nearest office with an available appointment is 3 weeks out. Your bank account is closing in 10 days. Your next Social Security payment is scheduled to deposit in 12 days. What happens to that payment? It gets rejected by the closed account and sent back to the SSA. Then, the SSA has to mail you a paper check, which can take an additional 7 to 14 days. You could be looking at a gap of 3 to 4 weeks without your money. That is not a hypothetical. That is happening to real people right now. Or imagine a slightly different scenario. You have a My Social Security account, but you have not logged into it in 3 years. You forgot the password. You try to reset it. But the recovery options require access to an old email address that you no longer use. Now you are locked out. The same process applies. You cannot make changes by phone. You have to go in person. And if you need the change made quickly, you are back to the same bottleneck of limited office appointments. The SSA has acknowledged these issues and says it is working on expanding digital access and improving the account recovery process. They have introduced a 24/7 online service window so you can manage your account at any time, not just during business hours. They are also piloting a video call identity verification option in some regions, which could be a middle ground for people who cannot travel but can use a smartphone or computer with a camera. But these are pilot programs. They are not available everywhere, and there is no guarantee they will roll out nationwide by the time you need them. So let me give you a checklist you can use right now to make sure you are prepared. Number 1. Go to SSA.gov and check whether you have a My Social Security account. If you do, log in and confirm that your contact information, your mailing address, and your banking information are all correct. If you have not logged in recently, do it now so you do not discover a problem later. Number 2. If you do not have an account, create one, set aside 30 minutes. Have your Social Security card, your driver's license, or state ID and your bank information handy. Follow the instructions carefully. If you get stuck, note which step failed and call your local office for guidance. Number 3. If you are a caregiver or family member helping an older relative, talk to them about their Social Security account. Ask them if they have set up online access. Offer to help them create an account. If they are resistant or unable, discuss getting a representative payee designation so you can act on their behalf. Number 4. Switch to electronic deposit if you have not already. Call the SSA or use your online account to change from paper checks to direct deposit or the Direct Express card. This eliminates the risk of mail theft and lost checks. Number 5. Review your payment schedule. Write down the Wednesday of the month when your benefits are deposited. Mark it on your calendar. If that date passes and no money has arrived, you will know within 24 hours that something needs attention. Number 6. Save the contact information for your local Social Security office. Do not rely on the national 800 number for everything. Your local office can often resolve issues faster, and they can schedule in-person appointments. Find the address, phone number, and hours of operation for the office nearest you, and keep that information somewhere. You can find it easily. Number 7. If you travel or spend part of the year in a different state, make sure you know how to access SSA services remotely. Your local office may not be able to help you if you are physically in another state. The online account is the one tool that travels with you. Let me talk about the bigger picture for a moment. This rule change is part of a broader trend at the Social Security Administration. The agency is moving toward a fully digital future. Paper checks are being phased out, phone services are being reduced, in-person offices are being consolidated. The message is clear. The SSA wants beneficiaries to manage their own accounts online. And if you cannot, the path forward is going to get narrower, not wider. I am not here to tell you whether that is good or bad policy. What I can tell you is that it is happening, and the people who will be hurt the most are the ones who do not adapt ahead of time, the ones who assume the old ways will always work, the ones who wait until there is a problem. Margaret from Columbus eventually got her banking information updated. It took her 3 weeks. A neighbor drove her to the Social Security office, a 45-minute drive each way. She waited in line for an hour and a half. She showed her ID, filled out a form, and the change went through in 1 business day. But those 3 weeks of waiting for the appointment, the stress, the uncertainty, the worry about whether her next check would arrive, none of that needed to happen. If she had set up her My Social Security account 6 months earlier, the whole thing would have taken 10 minutes from her kitchen table. That is what this all comes down to, a 10-minute task that becomes a 3-week ordeal if you are not prepared. The 2026 direct deposit rules are not going away. The phone change option is not coming back. The verification requirements are only going to get tighter as fraud techniques evolve. This is the new normal. And the only question that matters is whether you will be ready for it when your turn comes. Take 15 minutes this week. Not next week. Not when you have time, this week. Go to SSA.gov. Create or verify your account. Confirm your banking information. Make sure your address and phone number are current. Tell a friend or a family member to do the same. That is all it takes to protect yourself from a disruption that could otherwise cost you weeks of income and months of frustration. The system has changed. You cannot change it back, but you can change how you prepare. That is all for today. Thank you for watching.